Camera. Okay, and we are live for Triumph Bora Bora All-Stars final tribal council. We have our final two, Brian and Justin. You guys have made it all the way to the end, and now one thing stands in your way. The 9 people on the jury, you had a hand in voting out. So here's how it's going to work. Each of you are going to have 5 minutes for your opening statements, and then your wonderful jury are each going to have 10 minutes per juror to ask you guys any questions they do so wish for their minds. And then once that's done, you guys will have 5 minutes each for your closing statement. Very straightforward. Obviously, the jury have come up with their own questions and whatnot. We do just remind the jury, yes, we know it is final tribal council. We just want to remind you all to still have a level of respect, because these guys have made it all the way to Peyton back over here. So, Brian, as the winner of the final immunity challenge, you got to decide the order. So just a reminder, whoever you pick to go first in the opening statement will go last in the closing statement. So have you made that decision?
Yes, I'm going to go second in the opening.
Okay, so that means Justin will go first and then it will be reversed. So Justin, you will go first. Meg will be timing and she will give you a reaction. So when you have 1 minute left of your timer. Is that all right?
Good.
So, Meg,
if you're ready, Justin, I'll count you down from 3.
All right, count me down.
Okay, your time will start in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. Hi, everybody. I just want to say I'm super grateful to be here. I just want to thank Prod for even inviting me back to be an all-star. I think when I came into this game, I was really scared. I thought I didn't really have a chance in hell. I'm still an org newbie. I don't have that much game experience at all. And I really struggled to see myself as an all-star. And so I knew I needed to work harder and I had to hold myself to a higher standard. I did have some goals coming into this game. I didn't want to play the same game that I played the first time I played Triumph. I wanted to beat my placement and I wanted to win an individual immunity, and I got to accomplish those. And I definitely did not play the same game as I did in season 3. I played a sneaky, snaky, subtle game. I didn't allow emotions to cloud my judgment, and I refused to let friendships be held over my head. I made bonds and I broke them when I needed to. I used my social skills as a weapon. I downplayed my position continuously in this game, and I made sure that I was underestimated. I also had luck in this game. I got lucky that I started on a tribe with Courtney and was able to solidify her as my ally on day 1. She was an honest and loyal and on a bonus, a great shield for me. Then in the first swap, I knew I wanted to scoop Brian up. The more people who told me he was a threat, the more I wanted to work with him. So throughout that pre-merge, I used my social abilities to secure bonds. And during that pre-merge time is when the Scary Bitches alliance of me, Brian, and Courtney emerged. The game really started and amped up at the merge, and hard decisions had to be made. This game is about options, and I wanted to make sure that I had a fuck ton of those. Every round, I had multiple paths to choose from, and some of them obviously brought me here while others would not have. I kept a lot of my cards to my chest, and I omitted a lot of information. I was careful for when and how I leaked info, and I made sure it was always to my advantage. In this game, I felt like a cheating husband with a lot of spouses. And one by one, I was just giving you all herpes, and it was just a mess. I had this insane balancing act of making sure I was never caught or exposed, because if I got caught or exposed, it would all blow up in my fucking face. But I was never targeted in this game. My name never really came up. I received 1 throwaway vote the entire time. I voted correctly 100% of the times that I voted, every single time. And I had an idol that I didn't even need. I didn't have the luxury of throwing votes and not pissing people off, because I was the one sending everyone home. I was told almost each and every vote that it comes down to me. I always acted open and willing when I was approached because I wanted to keep everyone on my hook at all times. If I was honest about any of my I would be giving y'all a chance to flip the game and turn it on me. I do know that the actions obviously have consequences, and then I need to answer for my decision. It's easy to throw people in these simple and confining classifications because perception is reality in this game. And you may perceive me as someone who is unworthy to sit here, who is unworthy to win an all-star game, but I'm here to turn that perception on its head and explain why I deserve to win. I'm here to own my lies, to own my shortcomings and my overall game. And I look forward to each and every one of your questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Justin. Now we are going to move on to Brian. Meg, over to you.
Whenever you're good, I'll count down from 3, Brian.
I am good.
Okay, I'll start your time in 3, 2, 1, go.
So first off, I want to give a big thanks to production for putting this season together. It is an absolute honor to be considered an all-star amongst this cast. I'm here to own my game and tell you why I am the all-star deserving of representing this season. I dominated all 3 main facets of this game, and on top of that, I had a reputation to deal with and a whole lot of information to manage. One of my biggest strengths was my social capital. On Original and New, I wanted to make as many bonds as possible. I positioned myself at the center of the tribe, having an alliance with Sam, Edmo, and Quinn, and an alliance with Quinn and Peyton. Despite having won out pre-merge, I can sit here and confidently say I would have been in zero danger had I lost immunity at any point in the pre-merge. At the first swap, I was thrilled to not be with any of my original allies because this gave me the opportunity to increase my capital. I was able to start a working relationship with 3 key players in the game, being Jake, Malkin, and Justin. At the final swap, the only person I hadn't met was Court. I knew our relationship had a spotlight on it due to our past. Everyone expected us to gun for each other, and I knew that could be used to our advantage. Court and I decided to work together as Secret Ride or Dies, with everyone thinking we were eager to take each other out. I knew that if someone wanted to make a move against me, Courtney would be included and vice versa. Court then told me about both her idols and who knew. This let me know where the idols were, but also who was keeping the information from me. For example, I knew Malkin was the one who found the key to the Fanny idol. So when fake idol hunting with me and lying about his knowledge of either idol, I knew I could no longer trust Malkin. Starting at the final 12, Court and I began passing the idols back and forth. I had one of the idols for a point in just about every round up until the final 7, and even had both of the idols at the final 8 when I had immunity. At Merge, Esteban shared his idol clue with me, but by the time I was able to start looking, Justin was ahead of me in the hunt. Courtney gave me the idol hunt answer. It's an effort for me to beat Justin in the final puzzle of the hunt. I was just minutes short of catching him, but it was okay because Justin told Courtney he found it, which in turn meant I knew he found it. Strategically, I wanted to fix the mistakes I made in season 4. I'd made myself too big of a threat and was in a position where I had to rely on immunity and idols to survive. I still wanted to play an aggressive strategic game, but this time around, I wanted to make sure I constantly had bigger threats in front of me, which is why I made final 2 deals with each and with every person post-merge with the exception of Missy. Going into merge, Peyton was a player I had a lot of fun playing with. He was a massive threat, and we had a final 2 deal from our original tribe. But Peyton was public enemy number 1, and I knew if I tried to save him that it would negatively impact my game. So I had to strategically let him go. I was the original leak to the chat. I knew this wasn't a solid route for me because I wasn't well insulated. Jake was the one who would have been set up for success in that alliance, not me. I instead felt more insulated with the deployment, which was me, Courtney, Justin, Sam, and Ed. After it had gotten back to Jake that I leaked the chat, I knew we'd be at war with each other. I was confident I had the number to say, but I had an idol in my possession just in case anything went wrong. My biggest move was taking out Malkin during live night. I was the player who benefited the most from this move by far. If there was one person who could have caught on to what Court and I were doing, it would be Malkin. Malkin and I had a secret 4-person alliance that dominated season 4, which had a lot of similarities to what I was doing this season with Courtney. I also felt that Courtney and Justin's other option was to work with Malkin, so I wanted to make sure that I took that option away from them. At the final 8, I did not want Ed to go, but I had to be adaptive because I realized I couldn't save him without screwing over my own game. I had both of Court's idols in my possession, and of course, the idea of stealing the idols and saving Ed crossed my mind, but I knew that would have fired back at me. The plan was for me to pretend I was blindsided, which further separated my perceived relationships with Justin and Court. It lowered my threat level and brought me closer to Sam since he thought we were blindsided together. When looking at the trio of Jordan, Missy, and Esteban, I had stronger relationships with both Jordan and Esteban, while Missy had a stronger relationship with Court. Me and Sam decided we were set on Missy going this round, and we made it happen. I also found out this round that Justin gave Courtney his idol, which made her have 3 idols in her possession at the final 7. Moving into the end game, I knew there was a chat between Justin, Court, and Sam, and I again wanted to make sure that Court and Justin didn't have another option. Taking out Sam was one of my biggest moves because Sam would have likely gone final 3 with Justin and Court. I survived final 5 despite being one of 2 eligible options that round. If Jordan did pass the necklace to Esteban in efforts of switching the target to me, the plan would have been for Courtney to play the idol on me and Jordan would have been the one to go home. At final 4, Jordan going gave me a great chance to make final 2, no matter what the immunity outcome was. With the information that Court consistently gave me about Justin, she would likely have taken me to final 2. I always also had an ace up my sleeve when it came down to me and Justin. If Justin were to have won the final immunity challenge, I would have spilled all the information that Court had given me to make Justin bring me to final 2. Physically, I walk out of the season having the most individual immunity wins with 6, and I really should have 8 if it wasn't for the twist. I placed in top 3 of every single individual immunity challenge this season, and despite that, I was still effectively able to manage my threat level. I'm asking for your jury votes tonight because I played the hell out of this game, and I know I deserve the title. I'm looking forward to answering all of your questions. Thank you, guys, and good luck, Justin.
Look at that.
Perfect. Well done. So, thank you, Brian. Thank you, Justin. We are now going to move over to our jury members. So, jury, one at a time, you guys are going to be asking our final 2, whatever questions you may, and you guys have made an order to go in. And whilst it's each of your turns, obviously you guys are allowed to come on camera. So the first person is Esteban, and I do believe Esteban is here.
Esteban is here.
Yeah, Esteban, do you want to
I'm here. I guess I can do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yay.
Esteban, I'll start your 10-minute timer and I'll come back on camera when there's 2 minutes left, okay? Alrighty, go ahead.
All right. All right, go. All right. Yeah. Again, I'm so glad that I'm here again. Congratulations to both of you. To the prod, thank you so much for having me here. And to all the cast of All Stars, you are absolutely amazing. So again, congratulations on making it to the final 2, Justin and Brian. Your stars are really brighter than any others in the cast. You may or you may not be the main reason of you being here in the FTZ. At least you are here as a finalist. So it is not always the starting point that matters. It is the destination itself. But we haven't finished yet. One of you will deem his light off tonight, as it is necessary because only one gonna win this game. For me, one of you are like a brightest star, a Sirius star, also called as a major canis majoris, a very visible star, up front, straightforward, and work his way out of this game. And the other one is just like a brown dwarf, the smallest, almost non-existent, though cute and adorable, and the prod and the, everyone will agree to that. It's just, it carries and illuminates the light of the other stars. And it is for you to figure out which one are you as a star. I have a few questions to you, Brian and Justin. One, I made a plan for you both individually. Where am I in your endgame plans? Let's go with Brian and Justin.
Yeah, I can go first. So Esteban, with me and you and where you've kind of fit into my endgame plan is you were the perfect person to be in the endgame. I wanted you there because I knew you were another physical threat. We were both the 2 top physical threats in the game. So having you in the endgame made so that all the attention for the challenge threat wasn't just on me, it was on you as well. And then towards the end, we definitely started trusting each other and working together more in the middle of the merge. But then at the end, I did not want you to be in the end. I was definitely working with Justin and Court over you. But you were definitely an ally I wanted to be in the top 5. I would have even been okay with you being in top 4 over Jordan, but that was the way it worked out. So that's where you sat with me in my game plans.
Justin?
Yeah, even though we did end up having good conversations and I ended up really liking you, you were not anywhere near my end game. If you didn't win that final 6, I was going to vote you. And that's just the truth. I just see you as too much of a threat and too connected to Brian, too connected to Jordan. If you stayed any longer, my path, I could have easily went home. and I just didn't have you in my end game at all.
I still have time. So second question, if you are to eliminate a jury in the jury house, who would it be and why? Brian?
If I had to eliminate a juror, I would probably eliminate Jake, because, I feel like Jake thought I was going to be following him right out the door, and I proved him wrong. So I feel like that I kind of proved myself. So if I had to vote someone off the jury, I love each and every one of you on the jury, but if I had to pick one person, I'd pick Jake.
Justin?
Yeah, I would probably eliminate Sam. Honestly, I think Sam and Brian have a really great relationship. They work together from the beginning, and I feel like his vote will go to Brian. So that's why I would eliminate Sam.
Next question, are you a Sirius star or a brown dwarf star, Brian?
I'm definitely not a brown star. I am a Sirius star. I had attention on me this whole entire game. People could see me from a mile away. I was a physical threat. I was a challenge threat. I was a strategic threat, and I was a social threat. And I had great successes in my past Triumph season, as well as just a reputation in full of just my org career in general. So I was definitely a shining star, and that was the most difficult part of this game for me. I had to manage my threat level throughout the game and that's why I worked with players like Courtney, because Courtney was one of those people who I knew was one of the only people that was an even bigger, brighter star than me. So that is why I chose certain allies like I did. I wanted threats, and I definitely think that I was a shining star this game and a bright star.
Thank you. Justin?
Yeah, so I would say that I was the brown star. You don't have to shine bright to succeed. And I was probably viewed as someone who didn't shine bright and who wasn't as big of a threat, which is just wrong. I mean, I played 3 games. I got 4th, 1st, and 2nd, or well, maybe 2nd or 1st in this game. Like, I should be received as a threat. I should be. You guys, I was able to undermine that and make people think that I'm not worthy, make people think that I am a brown star. But honestly, that's it. I would be the brown star, but I had a little extra.
All right, one last question for you, Brian and Justin. No more comments and whatsoever. I just want you to choose. For you, Justin, choose one. Courtney or Jordan?
Courtney.
Brian, Edmo or Sam, or Edward or Sam?
Edmo quarter Sam, you said?
No, Edward or Sam?
Ed.
Thank you, and I had fun with you, Brian, Justin. Wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you, Esteban. Okay, we are now going to move on to our second juror, which is Sam. Hey.
Hello, guys.
Oh my gosh, it's Sam. Sam, are you ready for me to start your 10-minute timer?
Yeah, won't need it, but yeah.
And I'll come back on camera. 2 minutes left if you need that, okay?
Fabulous.
You can start now.
Thank you. Justin, not you removing me from jury. No, it's all good. Congratulations both of you, by the way. It's a real amazing feat to get here, especially in this game. This game is a stacked season. Brian, I just want to say, slow down a bit. You can tell you're a little bit nervous. Just calm down a bit because you're doing great. You both are. Just slow down a bit. But really, really excited to see what tonight brings. So I've got a couple of generic questions from speaking to the jury. I sort of know a lot about your game and from your speeches. So, Justin, if you could swap places with one of the jury, who do you think is most deserving of being at the end and why?
If I could swap places, I would swap with Courtney. I mean, she came in here as a winner, and with that reputation, she deserved to be here. I mean, she should have been targeted from the very beginning, and she wasn't. Even though she had 2 idols and people knew, there could have been a blind side, but no one even really wanted to. Everyone was too scared. She absolutely deserves to be here.
Okay, and Brian, same question.
I would also pick Courtney. I think a lot of the moves that I made in this game were hand in hand with Courtney, which is why I felt like I had to cut her. She was just as a part of a lot of the moves I talked about in my opening speech as I was. So I feel like I think she was very deserving because I think me and her share a lot of the same moves in this game. I think that we controlled this game as a duo. And I think that and that's why it was hard voting her out, because she was just as much a part of it as I was. So Courtney, I think definitely was the most deserving, and I think that she would have been a fierce competitor to face in the final two.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so you've both done a really good job so far of saying why you should win. Now, why should the other person win? Brian, why should Justin win?
I think Justin, I think you would vote for Justin if you are wanting to vote for a great under the radar game. I think Justin, like we said, he wasn't the brightest star, using the analogy Esteban used, but Justin was very involved in a lot of the moves. He knew that I was, he knew about me not voting, knowing about Edmo going home despite me acting like I was blindsided with you, Sam. So Justin was involved in a lot of those moves, not all of them, but he was definitely a big part of this season. He definitely played a great game. He was a fierce physical competitor too. In that last challenge, I never in a million years thought that would have gone that long between the two of us. So Justin played a great game. We did a lot of moves together as well. So I think tonight either winner would be very deserving, in my opinion, for sure.
Thank you very much. And Justin, why should Brian win?
Yeah, Brian should win because he was a threat. I mean, I literally, the first day, I had multiple people saying, don't trust Brian. Brian is so smart. He thinks moves ahead, like get him out. So all he did was prove them right. He thought ahead all the time. He made the right moves. He made sure he was safe. And he was playing when people notice you is very hard, because you have to always like see every option. You have to make sure that you're going to be safe. And I think he succeeded in every way. And literally, like, I never even played a game with him, and I know all about him. He's a legend in this community, and he should win. I mean, for those reasons.
No, I understand what you mean. Thank you so much. And finally, the age-old classic. Both of you close your eyes. I'm going to go through. I'm going to go through the jury. Just raise your hand if you think you're getting their vote tonight. Okay, so we'll start off with Peyton. Okay. We'll then go to Jake. Malcolm. Missy. Edward. Me. Jordan. Courtney. If I've missed anyone, I'm sorry. I think that's it. Open your eyes, guys. Thank you so much. And just want to say, but both of you have played tremendous games. Both of you really deserve to be there. Just sell your game, be honest, and you'll be amazing. Oh, by the way, close your eyes again. And Esteban. Thank you. Open your eyes. Right. I'm a mess. Right. I will speak to you guys soon. Good luck. And my vote's still open, by the way. So just sell your asses off. See you soon.
Sam, thanks.
Thank you, Sam.
You are a mess, Sam, but thank you. So we are now going to move on to our third juror. And she is the OG queen. It is Courtney.
By the way, I am keeping track of extra time people have left over for any jurors who might want to take the time. We have a bunch. We have 9 minutes already. So if y'all need extra time, ask.
Courtney.
I'm here, sorry. Hey.
Courtney, I will start your 10 minutes and give you a 2-minute reminder.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so first thing I want to say, thank you for sparing me from having to choose between either of you. I'm really glad that I did not have to do that because I know what I would have done, but it would have fucking hurt. So, but yeah. So first thing I actually want to do is kind of similar, but I'm asking this for a reason. I'm gonna go to each of you and I'm gonna go through the jurors. And what I want you to do is I'll start with Brian. I want you to tell me yes or no whether or not you had a final two with this person. And then I want you to tell me whether it was your idea or their idea. Okay. So starting with Peyton.
Yes, and it was my idea.
Okay. What about Jake?
Yes, and I would say Jake was the first one to offer it for sure.
Okay. Malkin?
Yes, kind of mutual from the beginning, but never formal. We never had a formal final two.
Okay. Edward?
Yes, I think initiated by me.
Okay. Missy?
No.
You said no? Okay. Sam?
Yes. Again, I think pretty mutual, but I think I had a lot to do with that being started.
Esteban?
Yes, I initiated it, but it was never true final two, I would say, from both of our sides.
Okay. Jordan?
Yes, and Jordan said it to me a bunch of times, and I also I responded and also said I would take him final two as well at certain points.
Okay, and Courtney?
Yes, obviously, and I would say that it was my idea. I came into that tribe with you, and I wanted to be with the duo with you, just like I said. Just like that story where on the first time we were together, I said, I am so excited that we are playing together. And you were like, what? We already played together again, right? Because I knew from the beginning that I wanted you to be an ally of mine.
Okay, thank you. Justin, same thing. Start with Peyton.
No.
All right, Jake?
Yes, initiated it, definitely.
Malcolm?
Yes, I would think he initiated it. We started as number ones on the original tribe. We made that promise to each other.
Okay. Edward?
Yes. And I might have initiated that
Missy?
one. No.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Missy?
No.
Sam?
Yes. Say he initiated that.
Esteban?
Yes. He initiated.
Jordan? Okay.
Jordan? Yes.
Jordan?
He initiated that.
And Courtney?
Yes. I feel like it was a mutual thing. We both said it back and forth. But I probably said it first.
Okay, now for my individualized questions. Okay, so Brian, my first question for you is, obviously I did a lot of stuff, sent you idols. I remember talking to you after we got through the final four tribal council and said that if Justin won immunity, that, I would not get in your way of making it to the end, that I would even potentially go out of my way to make sure I didn't take this opportunity away from you. I definitely a lot of times I said, like, I want our duo to be a really strong thing, to the point where, like, if you feel like you need to cut me, go ahead. And you would say a lot of stuff of like, no, we have to end together. And basically the point is, what I want to know is, did you believe me or were you skeptical? Like, all the things I was promising you, did you believe me or were you skeptical?
I would say that I believed you. I never am 100% certain about anything in this game, but I would say I was probably like 95% certain that, like, you would take me to the end. I think that if you would have won that, I was thinking that you were going to take me for sure.
But like stuff like, had Justin won immunity, that I was going to go out of my way to make sure you made it to the end, stuff like that. Did you believe me?
I do now, and I do after I told you that I was going to vote you out when you said that. Before that point, I don't think I didn't necessarily not believe you, but I wasn't certain by any means that you were going to do that.
For me, and I talked about this with you before, the only thing that bothered me about anything that happened was all the narrative about the story. Because I bought into it, and that's why I was caught off guard. And the reason I'm asking you if you believed me or not is because I'm wondering what the purpose of that was. Like, did you because if you didn't believe me, then maybe that would be why you kind of overdid it, or maybe intimate, like, I don't know, like, because what you think. I just want to understand like what that purpose was, because I genuinely don't believe that it was malicious.
No.
But I don't get it.
So I think you kind of said it there. You believed me, and that's why you were caught off guard. If I didn't go with that narrative and I didn't pitch that narrative, you would have been on guard. And then in that scenario, at 4, I'm probably toast. At 5, I'm probably toast if you know that I'm going to cut you at 3. So if I didn't do that, I think you would have been in a position to take me out, and you had the relationships to do it. So I could not back down from that storyline.
So the gist is that okay, I basically got my answer. So you didn't believe me about how self-sacrificial I was. So you were trying to protect yourself. I got it. Okay. My other question, you kind of touched on this before, but I find it kind of interesting. As far as our partnership goes, whose idea do you think it was? And who do you think put the most work in making it like a thing, like a thing between me and you?
I think it was my idea. It was something I even talked about preseason, that I would love to work with you because you are such a giant, massive shield. So I would definitely say I initiated the deal. You 100% put in way more work with in this than me. And that was also the other main reason that why I felt like I had to cut you, because I did genuinely believe that you deserved it over me. I think you made the plan happen. I maybe had the idea, and maybe it was involved in the initiation, but you were involved way more in the process for certain.
Okay. I had one other thing to say, but I don't remember. So I'm gonna move on over to Justin, and I'll come back if I remember. Justin, first of all, just to be clear, obviously I'm not remote. Like, whatever you say to this question, I'm not gonna be upset because I wasn't gonna take you either. But were you actually gonna take me, or were you just kind of using the luxury of losing to kind of, because like when you lost, you were like, oh my God, we were so close, I'm so sorry. And I'm just like, now in hindsight, I'm like, were you actually going to take me, or were you just, since you didn't have to make the decision?
Yeah, and I never was going to make that decision. I wasn't winning that challenge. I wouldn't let myself win that challenge. But if I won by accident, I would have had to have cut you, because I think that you would have won 9-0 just because you played an amazing game, and I literally would have to cut you.
Thank you. You reminded me of what else I wanted to say. I was right. These people did not want to vote for me. Just so you know. Anyway, hold you guys. Okay. And last question, Justin, I think that the biggest thing is that, like, and this is just me, all of my questions I've asked you guys have been with the intention of helping you along in this process. And Justin, I think what everyone really wants to know, and maybe I don't know how much time we have left. I don't know if you answer it now, but maybe put this into your further path in this. People want to, like, you're telling a good story of this under the radar game and stuff, but people don't understand how you did. Like, you're not really elaborating on how that is true and why that is valuable. And I think that that's something you should really work on doing, So that's my advice to you, I guess. It's not really a question, because I don't think you have a lot of time to answer that, because it's a loaded question. But yeah, for the record, in case that, just so you know, I'll use the last of my time to say I'm not upset with anybody. I'm not upset with you, Brian. I'm sorry I was upset at the time. Like I said, I was just surprised. I don't like expressing my feelings when I don't have time to process them, and I didn't have time to process them. So you got the raw reaction without any processing, without any rationality. So we're good. I absolutely adore you both. I am really excited that one of you guys is going to win. And yeah, that's it for me. Love you guys.
Love you. Thank you, Court.
Thank you, Courtney. Okay, we are moving on to your next juror now, and it is Edward.
Hi, sorry, I'm eating pizza. Edward, your 10 minutes is gonna start now.
Okay, I tend to keep these quick. I have one question, and that question is for Justin. Justin, would you rather leave this game with my friendship or my final tribal council vote?
Honestly, like, how it's your friendship, the vote doesn't mean anything to me.
Unlike season 1, Congratulations to both of you. Good luck to both of you.
Thanks, Ed.
Cool. Short and sweet. Okay, we are going to move on to our next juror now, which is Malcolm. There he is.
Everybody has hella banked time, so nobody worry about going over. Malkin, I will start your timer.
Hi, both of you. I want to start off and just say I have to be a non-biased juror here as much as I can be. I do have what I think right now is what I want to do. But, I'm listening to everything and taking everything into consideration. So just know that you are being heard. Just keep remembering to breathe throughout this process, because I don't think enough of us did enough of that, me included. Okay, so first question to Justin. Was I your Chris Stoner? Kidding, that's not my actual question. What is the best lie you told this game, and how did it benefit you? And I don't want omitting information as a lie. I want you to own the lies you did tell and why it benefited your game strategically. I need to see some active benefit.
Right. I think the biggest lie and was acting like I would take Courtney to the end. I mean, if she ever got a whiff, like to her, I always acted like I would take her to the end. But then to other people, I would say I would cut Courtney. So you knew, because a lot of people frame this are thinking, my head is so far up Courtney's ass, I can't even see past the window. So I had to make sure that most people knew I would cut Courtney and they would keep me around. And then I had to lie to her and be like, because people would tell her that I was going to cut her. People try to throw me under the bus. And so I had to make sure that she 100% believed that I would take her to the end, because I needed that protection. I needed a shield that could stay here and take the brunt force of everything for me. I think that was my biggest lie, because I never had that intention.
Okay. Brian, I'm just do alternating questions just so you all have a break. Remember to breathe. First question for Brian. Some members of the jury don't feel like, or they feel like you were a bit extra in how you played your game, which to an extent you were. I'm not like one of those people who cares if you played a little bit extra, but I'm hoping my question will give me clarity to know what it is I want to specifically vote for. So let me know if you have questions, because I'm sorry, I wrote this question and I'm like, oh crap, it's pretty long. So how do you see this game, and what is personal versus what is a game move? And how do you differentiate the two in order to depersonalize how the moves you made were potentially perceived?
There was a little bit of a connection issue, but I think I did understand the question. So I think that one of my biggest strengths in these games is that I am like pretty good at separating game and personal. I can completely separate the two. I can make a decision no matter how close I've been with someone. That's something that I clearly do. I have made great friendships in this game too, though. I would love to continue them with all of you. So even though I was ruthless in the game sense and that I was willing to take out whoever I needed to take out, whether we talked hours on call every day or whether we didn't, that didn't come into factor of my game decisions. But after this game, there was tons of people that I built personal relationships. Me and Courtney had a great personal relationship. That was not just game at all. We became very, very close this season. I also was super close with Ed. Ed was one of my best friends in this game. We talked a lot, and a lot of it was not game. Me and Ed's relationship was mainly personal. So if I understood your answer correctly, I differentiate the game by I make personal relationships while I'm in the game, but I make sure not to include them in my decision making in terms of guilt.
Okay. My next question, my second and final question for Justin is this the final two you wanted? If so, why? And if not, who would you have ideally have been in the final two with, and why?
So that is a complicated question, because I had a lot of final twos. So in terms of the final two, I did think that me and Brian probably pissed off the same amount of people. So he was someone that I would like to go to the final two with, because the way I was picturing the game is that each juror, when I would talk to Brian, it seems like other jurors, like especially Ed, Esteban, were having like the same conversations with me and him. And so I was figuring, well, I didn't really tell him that. I never really said, oh, me and Esteban are getting super close. Me and Ed talk constantly and have final twos. So when we were voting them out and had to do that, I figured they'd be mad at both of us. And like, honestly, this is the final two that I wanted. And also there's certain people like with him in court, losing to them makes the pill easier to swallow.
Okay. And then my last question for Brian is, what do you consider to be the best piece of information you got, and how did you use this to actually benefit yourself?
So I would say the best piece of information I got would be the idols right at the round between, it was like the round before we merged, the greed round, and also the first round of merge. I found out all three of the idols within that timeline, including Justin's, including both of Courtney's, and I even had one of them in my possession at that at Final 12 and at the tribal where Peyton went home. Idols were in my pocket at both of those. So I think that piece of information was huge because it wasn't just that I knew where they were and I knew that they weren't going to be played against me. I was able to make moves without having to worry about someone else idling. Like, for example, if there was an idol in play that Jake, Missy, Esteban, Jordan had at the live night, I would have easily gone home, but I was able to play the way I did because I didn't have to worry about that factor, which was huge in my game. And it would be so different if I didn't have that knowledge.
Yeah, that's really all the questions I had. I have a pretty good idea of what I am doing here. I mostly just wanted to have you elaborate further on both of your games because I do feel like there are merits to both of them that need to be heard. And so these were questions meant to help you. Hopefully streamline the remainder of your FTC. Who knows? I don't know what everyone else is going to ask. We kind of really didn't talk to each other much about what we were going to say. So I am paying attention. I'm on my toes. I have no idea what's going to happen, but I do wish you both the best. We can talk after the game and have a good night.
Thank you, Malcolm. Okay then, so we are moving on to our next juror in this jury questioning, and it is the Mayor of Ponderosa, Peyton. Is Peyton here? There he is.
Hey everyone. Okay, so I had this huge list of things. How much time do I have?
You have 10 minutes plus like a lot of other minutes, and I don't know why I'm echoing, but you have a ton of time.
That's okay. Anyways, I had like a huge list of things that I wanted to ask, but pretty much all of it was answered. And first I was gonna come in and be really mean just because that's what most jurors do to me, but I don't want to be mean. Brian, I was worried that you would come in and not like own up to your like personal relationships with people. Super glad you are. I think you're crushing Justin right now. Justin, love you. I was vouching for you for like the half of the jury until everyone was coming in, just like telling me things that made me not want to stand you. So I think you know that like we don't have a personal relationship. We don't have a game relationship. I think Brian is absolutely killing you right now. So I want to give you a chance to just like talk or say something, not necessarily to me, but just to the jury in general, because everyone thinks that Brian is absolutely crushing you right now. So I need you to like step it up, eat something, say something.
Well, I appreciate that. It's just, and I get it too, because when you play, it comes with the territory of playing the type of game that I played, where you are in the background. If you're a background player, you're not going to get the fucking credit that you think that you deserve. I think personally that I did play hard constantly. I had so many like strong relationships with people that I wasn't targeted. I mean, people are really discounting that. Like, not being a target in a fucking all-star game is huge. Voting correctly every single time is huge. Yes, okay, somebody else knew somebody was leaving, but you still voted wrong because you were scared. You were scared. I had to put myself out there. I had to make decisions. I had to literally send every single one of you home. And that's what I had to do. And
so I think that like the jury is struggling slightly because a lot of the stuff that you're vouching for, Brian also did. So,
so that's the crazy part. When you play a game with people, like it's not mutually exclusive. Obviously, we had a lot of the same goals. If you want me to separate Brian, the one thing was Ed. Like, I voted Ed when he didn't want to, because I never told Brian that me and Ed had any type of close relationship, but I kept hearing from Brian that Ed was telling him everything. I kept hearing from Ed that Brian was telling him everything. I knew I wanted Ed to leave when me and Court voted him. It was something that was already happening that I wanted to do. And most of these decisions, I pretended, or I had to hem and haw a lot, because a lot of people find that, and I think this is why I'm in like an impossible situation, because when you have someone like me, people perceive me as like easily manipulated, easily like, Justin will do what I want. Trust me, people have said that, like, Justin will do what I want. So when I don't, you're pissed off, you're upset because I didn't do what you wanted. But then on the flip side, you're like, well, he didn't do what I wanted because he's a follower and a loser or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's a rock and a hard place for me. And I get it and I understand, but I think that my game had a lot of merits. Like, and even though playing closely with people, I don't think that should be discounted, because I did the same things. I wanted them to happen too.
I'm struggling giving you my vote mainly just because I don't know anything about you personally. But we had one call, and everything that I have heard about you is hearsay now. But like, that was hearsay before I heard you talk tonight. But like, nothing, there's been like zero positive affirmations about your game on the jury chat. So I'll take what I'm hearing though tonight. I'm completely open. I 100% really don't want to vote for Brian. So if you can like sway me in your direction, that's great. But the game in me is really gonna probably give it to Brian right now, but I'll give Brian a chance to talk too.
Yeah, so first I would like to say the Edmo vote. Yes, I didn't want Edmo to go when considering every single person left in the game, but I had options. I knew that was happening. I also had two idols. Both of Courtney's idols were in my possession that round. I 100% had options to make other people go home besides Ed, but I strategically decided that Edmo going was the best of the options that were available. If I would have either used an idol or leaked information to flip it around, after that, I would have been having my back against the wall. And yeah, sure, maybe I could win some challenges. I'd have two of the idols, but I wanted to make sure that this game, I did not rely on challenges and idols. I have done that time and time again in these games, and I consistently get 4th, 5th, 6th place.
Did you have like a fun time playing this game?
Yes, I did.
I'm like struggling to see that, bro. All I'm seeing is like game bot, and I have lost so many games for that, which is a reason why I want to vote for you. But like, if I lose because of that, you should lose because of that too. So I'm just like struggling to get past like the game botness. Like, I feel like you're coming off very cocky and you're coming off very game botish, and I feel like you were one of the most important people to me in this game, and I felt super, super disposed, but like as a game bot. So that's just like, wow, right now.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah. So I did have fun in this game, and I guess I understand why that's hard to see based on the way that I play the game and how I can completely separate the two. But just because the two are separate doesn't mean that I wasn't participating in the other one. You know well enough, we had so many good calls that were not about just game. We got along very, very well, completely outside of this game. Our game didn't really align at all, and that was a struggle for me in itself. I knew I had to let you go, even though I wanted to.
That's where the game botting comes in. Like, I feel like some people think that your personal relationships with them are like that.
That my personal relationships with them are that I don't separate, that I do separate it. And so, I mean, if you don't like that I completely separate game from personal, then I don't really know what to say, because that is the truth. That is the reality. I do. And I think that what the message I guess I want to send then is, just because I separate them doesn't mean the other one doesn't exist. I enjoyed all my personal calls. I enjoyed all the moments that happened in this game that were outside of this game a lot. I'll remember them. I'll look back. I will keep in contact with so many of you. That is there. I love this game and a lot, and I know that I could come off as game body, and that I'm very strategic and my mind goes at like a million miles a minute. I know that about myself, but that doesn't mean the other part isn't true just because of that. Also, something I feel like is the way that I show my emotions. I'm very like, I don't show my emotions, so a lot of times my emotion isn't seen. I do have emotions. I am just someone who keeps them not on I don't express that non-verbally. So it wasn't that I didn't have the emotion, it's just that I separated the emotions that I had and I didn't incorporate them into my game decisions. And I love the personal parts of this game just as much as the game in the game.
Okay, I think that's all I have. Thanks, Prod, for having me. Justin, I really hope you can pull through because I really don't want Brian to win, but that's the way it's looking right now. So, Brian, I do love you. You know we're gonna be friends after, but okay, bye.
Thank you, my season 5 boyfriend. Now we are moving on. Actually, we're not. We are going to quickly go back to one of the jurors quick because they have a question they really want to ask. So, Courtney.
So sorry. I thought of something I'm really curious about that honestly will have a big impact on me figuring out what I'm gonna do today. I'm not gonna reveal, I'm sorry, Sam, I'm not gonna reveal what you guys raised your hands for anyone else, but neither one of you raised your hand for thinking I would vote for you. My boys, and I just genuinely need to know, why did you think I'm not voting for you? Brian, you can go first.
That was the hardest one to decide whether to raise my hand or not. I feel like I felt like that you would maybe feel that since I kind of backstabbed you, well, not kind of, I did backstab you at the last tribal, and that you were going to pick me over Justin. So in turn, you were going to think that that you kind of owe Justin your vote a little bit. And I not based on much, but I just thought that you felt very betrayed by me and that you might want to give Justin your vote as, you know, kind of repayment for all the times that you kind of threw him under the bus and picked me over him. So I thought that might be why.
Okay. Justin, what about you?
Honestly, the same reasons for why I thought you wouldn't vote me, because you were picking Brian over me. So why wouldn't you pick him now?
Okay. Thank you, production, for giving me like a few more seconds. Bye.
That's fine. So we are now moving on to our next jury member, which is Missy. There she is. Meg.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Sorry,
okay.
I was responding to questions. Here you go, Missy.
Thank you. Okay, so I want to start off by saying congratulations to both of you. I wasn't particularly close to either one of y'all, but I do want to say either way, y'all did something right. Y'all both made it here. I do have questions. I do have some statements, but please know anything I ask or say, I'm still proud of both of you. Okay. Justin, I'm going to start off by saying, like, I really didn't get to know you a whole bunch in this game. I know that you're new. However, on the day that I went, you kind of left me hanging. You kept being like, oh, we're going to talk once I'm done with dinner. You got done with dinner and you were responding to other people, and I was hearing about it, and you straight ghosted me. And I've kind of gathered that.
Missy, your mic disconnected.
Yep, your mic just disconnected.
What
Can you
did
hear me
she
now?
gather?
Yes,
We
I
don't
can hear
know.
that.
What's the last thing you heard?
You gathered something.
Oh, I gathered that that happened to a few other people as well from you. It felt like crap. So I just want to let you know, like, I don't really like how you handled that. But you know, such is life. Maybe like if you feel self-conscious or something like that, talking to somebody that you know you're gonna vote out, just don't be like, oh, I'll call you after dinner. Because my dumb ass was sitting here waiting. Brian, I absolutely adore you. You vote me out in every game we ever play together. I think you are an amazing person. You do kind of remind me of like Iago on Aladdin. You are diabolical sometimes, but I'm here for both of y'all. However, I guess kind of one of the things for me and my perception is that a huge portion of this game, it was like y'all have this massive group that y'all were working with. And it sounds to me like Court did a lot of pretty much everything, and both of y'all's games heavily relied on Courtney. And so, and like Justin, there were some times that you were like, oh yeah, I kind of want to do this, but the only time you followed through on something was like the Edmo thing, but pretty much anything Courtney was doing, you had to be doing as well. So I guess my question for both of you is, what is like one move that you would say you made that didn't involve Courtney, or you making sure you had Courtney's permission to do that? What's something, because otherwise it seems kind of like a boring thing, just sticking with the same group over and over and over. You're in a big group, so you're not really that in danger, and you're just slowly picking people off. What's something you did individually? Brian, we'll start with you.
So I think the Malkin vote was my 100% the one that I did. Of course, Courtney voted that way, but that was fully my idea. that was fully beneficial to me. Malkin, from my perspective, the reason I didn't trust Malkin was because he actively was showing loyalty to Courtney and Justin over me. So I couldn't believe that once I, pitched that idea of, let's blindside Malkin, no one will see it coming, any idols in play wouldn't matter. I was surprised that Courtney and Justin went with it, honestly. That was, I think, a move that I made, I initiated, and it worked out, and it worked to my benefit for sure, because I knew Malkin was on the hunt for me if I didn't get him there.
Okay, Justin?
Yeah, I mean, with that though, Courtney still was in the loop and she had permission. I think for me, my moves was just without Courtney's permission. I didn't tell her the bonds that I was making, the final twos that I was making. Like that was everything like that.
But did you follow through on some of those final twos without like going and talking to her? Like, did you actually make a move that was separate is kind of what I'm asking. But despite just getting along with people and making final twos, where did you follow through is I think what I'm asking. I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to interrupt.
No, I get it. Because it's the same situation, like, because with the Sam vote, she didn't want to do that. It's the same with the Malkin vote. Like, she knew it was going to happen, but she truly didn't want to vote Sam. And I was always going to vote Sam because I never trusted that Sam was going to pick me over Courtney. So I did that against her wills. But again, she knew it, just like she knew the Malkin vote. And I think the Sam vote really benefited me because if we were in the final four and Brian won immunity, my ass would have been in fire. So that is something I truly did want to happen, and she didn't.
Okay. I'm going to ask y'all another question, a little more selfish. Okay. But this is just curiosity. So pretty much right after merge, y'all were coming for me pretty quickly. And the thing is, I didn't have numbers. It was me and Esteban, and then sometimes Jordan. I'd like to think Jordan was close to us, but I know he was close to y'all too. So I really wasn't that big of a threat. So I'm just curious, why me? Why were y'all coming for me so quick? Either one of y'all can start.
I can go first. Missy, you were someone that I hadn't met before the merge, obviously. So we didn't have a chance to establish trust, obviously, in the pre-merge. Once the merge hit, I was, as everyone knows, that our 7-person tribe, there was a lot of intertwined relationships. So you were on the outs of that. And then out of the 4 of you, I had good relationships with both Esteban and Peyton. So I didn't want it to be them at first. So then my best route was to go for you through process of elimination more. Same thing, like I kind of felt that I had a closer game relationship with Jordan as the game progressed as well. So when it came down to your vote specifically, I was like, and we were just on opposite sides. I know you lied to me about who you were voting a bunch of times, which I don't blame you at all.
Every time.
Exactly. So I knew, whereas Jordan would keep me in the loop a little bit more with what he was thinking and doing. So you were the person that I knew if there was ever an opportunity for you to take me out, you would have been 100% on board. And I wanted to get you before you got me.
Okay, Justin.
Right. Yeah. Unfortunately, we were on opposite sides, and I approached the game as I want to get out people who it's easy for them to write my name down, and it would have been easy as hell for you to vote me out. We had not any type of connection. We didn't really have game deals or anything like that. I do understand like having that 7-person alliance was, and it's like, why are you going to pick us off one by one? But that's why after the Peyton vote, we didn't. And I wanted to make sure, and you were targeted and Esteban, that Jordan didn't have anywhere else to go but me or Courtney or anything like that, that he didn't have other options because he's always protecting you. And you guys seem like a group too. So
I'm sorry, Jordan, I'm a butthole then. Go on.
If you guys are a group, why would I want to group that together too? Just like you should have people should have did to us that I was perceiving taking me away from Courtney or something like that. I perceived you, Jordan, Esteban as a group that I needed to break up.
Okay, I have one last question. I do this in every FTC I go to just to kind of lighten the mood some. Y'all are gonna hate me, but we're doing it. I'm gonna make it a more appropriate version. So it's gonna be, we're gonna play Kiss, Marry, Punch for everyone on the jury. We're gonna start with Justin this time.
For every, like, each what I do? Okay.
No, like, yeah, out of the, you have to pick Marry, Punch. Let's go.
All right, so definitely, I think I'd kiss Esteban, and honestly, I would probably marry Sam. And if I could, I would punch Jordan.
Okay, Brian, your turn. You're on mute.
Sorry. I think I would kiss Sam. I would marry Courtney because what a better wife than Courtney? And then I would punch. I would punch Jake.
Okay, you guys. Well, good luck to both of you. That is everything I have. Again, y'all worked your asses off. You played an amazing game. I hope you both had fun, and I will see y'all on the other side of this.
Okay, thank you, Missy. Okay, we are now moving on to our next juror, which is Jordan. Is Jordan here?
I know Jordan had to like leave and come back at one point because things froze. So I don't know if Jordan iPhone.
I'm pretty. I was gonna
iPhone
say
is Jordan.
Jordan has been here. I've been seeing all of his
Yeah.
comments listening to the chat.
I
There we go.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we could hear you.
All right. So my
you have to
computer's
be
messed
on
up.
camera, love.
Okay, so my computer's messed up, and I'm trying to get this daggum thing. Okay, can you
There
hear
we
me?
go.
Okay, good.
iPhone.
Okay,
I'll start.
so everything I asked, I was supposed to go first, and then things got like out of swapped. So y'all have almost faced everybody. Okay, so I just have been taking notes at this point. I'm gonna ask y'all some questions from my notes. Okay. Which one of you who was the bigger villain this game? Justin, you or Brian?
I would say me, truly.
Okay, that's enough. Thank you. Brian, who was the bigger villain? You or Justin?
Me, absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Who played better? Brian, you or Justin?
I played better.
Thank you. Justin, who played better? You or Brian?
Me.
Okay. Justin, you said obviously I'm upset with you, so this is not a secret. Losing to them is an easier pill to swallow. Would losing to me be a hard pill to swallow for you, sir?
In this game in particular, because I think
It's fine. I would have beat you. You were right. You were right for voting me out. I was wrong. I didn't think I would have won. I was incorrect. I found out when I got to the jury I would have won, and I felt stupid because I was wrong. So your perception was correct there. Good job. Okay. Regarding to our season, you said something about a background player not getting credit in this game. In our season, Justin, I was not a background player. In fact, I was in charge of a lot of votes. You still didn't vote for me. And I made it to the end. Okay. That's all I need to know. That makes sense. Last thing I wanted to say, scared. I made promises to people and I kept every single promise where I was voting, who I was voting with. I kept every single promise in this game. There was no scared. I don't play scared. If I play anything, it's the opposite. Would you agree or disagree?
I disagree.
You think I play scared based on my game this game?
Yeah, because knowing your allies are leaving and like not
I
voting.
couldn't do anything to help save them. You just told me
you keep saying
you just told me I'd go to bat for Missy, and then it doesn't make sense. Anyway, okay, thank you. Courtney told me at the beginning of this game, Justin wants to make sure you're happy, fine, and that you're okay. You had a terrible time during your season, and she wants to ensure you're okay. My problem with you was when I went to the jury, I felt like that was kind of a ploy. So my feelings were unemotional. You know I play with my heart. You know. And that's why I feel gross about you right now. Because I feel like you knew I played with my heart and you capitalized on that. Do you agree or disagree with that?
I disagree.
Can you elaborate slightly?
Yeah, because I mean, I meant that. I wanted you to have a good time. I do feel like we switch roles from our season to this season. Like, and just because, and I feel like I actually feel the same way about you. I feel like you used emotion against me, my own emotions. You try to guilt me and make me feel bad for not wanting to do what you want to do every round.
I didn't guilt you. I just was trying to persuade you. There's a major difference. I just tried to persuade you because I had no power. So all you had to do was say no. I had no power, and that was an evident thing. The agency I had in this game was next to nothing. So like for me, it doesn't make sense, right? Like to anyway, and I get it. Like I wrote a lot of things. I was gonna come in here and be way more hateful, believe it or not. But what saved me, or what saved you, whatever us, was that one, I know at the end of the day, I know you're a good person. I know that you have a good heart, but also in my season, I got torn to shreds. I mean, I got hit by a dump truck, twice ran over, and you came in the jury and you said to me, or when you answered your question or asked your question, you were like, how are you doing? And it was very genuine because you had time. You had a week to process. You do know that, right? You had a whole week. I did not. I had 48 hours to process this whole bullcrap, or 72, whatever. But y'all had a week to process because we were doing those puzzles. Anyway, all that being said, Brian, on to you. How much of our relationship was genuine? Truly.
I would say our relationship is very genuine. I oftentimes said that you were one of the people I enjoyed.
And wait, I need a preface before I say this. I should have said this. I know I gave Justin Slide a little bit of a tongue lashing because I'm more hurt by him on a personal level than anybody. But like, just be truthful. I want you, because after I've heard everything, I feel very played by you too. So just be as truthful as possible. That's all I care about. And I will say, in your closing speech, you need to go a little slower because you can tell you're a little nervous, a little anxious. You are killing it, but go ahead.
Yeah, I think our relationship was very, very real. You were probably the person I talked the most to next to Courtney, I would say. We called like a lot. As in terms of the game, there were parts of you I thought that I knew a lot of things, like that thing with Courtney. Courtney told me that you leaked it to her, so I knew that. Like there was a couple things I knew that you did that made me not trust you in the game. And I kind of was able to see how you were constantly going back to Courtney and Justin and leaking information against me, and how you were kind of after me a little bit more than you made it out to seem to me on a game level. But on a personal level, like I really did enjoy playing with you.
Fair. No, and I was totally like, who told you that I wanted you out the second round?
The second round of
remember you came to me our first call, you said, hey, I heard that
Peyton said that Missy had said that.
Oh, okay. All right. So Missy told you that, or did you hear
No,
that?
Peyton was
okay. Okay. All right. That's what I just wanted to make sure, because when I came back, that was not confirmed that way. So it's not a big deal in either there. Thank you very much for your time. I just want to end with this. And Justin, just to help you out a little bit, you need to separate your game from Courtney slightly, because everyone sees her as this. Ironically, both of you, if she would have been sitting in the end, I hate saying this because I love Courtney. Y'all know that. Y'all know I love Courtney. But in the end, if Courtney would have been sitting here, you both would have beat her. Like possibly like a 2-7-1-8. I was going to vote for Courtney in the end, most likely, but it would have been like a 1-8. Like it would have been ironically, a possible landslide. Which is crazy because I think she controlled this game. But anyway, yes, I'm sure about that, Malcolm, based on what's been said. Sorry. But anyway, all right, okay. That's it. That's all I had. Just in your closing speeches, Jen, like separate your game. Separate it, because you saying you built relationships is Survivor 101. Does that make sense? So like you being like, I built relationships. We all did that. So it's like separate it. Like you got to cut off the head. And then Brian, slow down, be more. I do love you both. I didn't hear that on my way out, so it hurt my feelings when I was like really upset. Both of you just kind of stared at me, and it was kind of cold, I felt. So it hurt my feelings on the way out, but just in well. But all right, I will talk to y'all later. I'm sure everything will be happy after the game. I apologize. I was anxious to talk to both of you because I didn't want my heart to show. So I had like 7 of these so far, more or less. And so I just wanted to like be okay before I got in here. Justin, I do love you on a human level. Please know that this was mainly game stuff I'm saying right now. I just don't. Oh, last thing. Why would you punch me? Because you don't think I'm getting your vote from a strategic standpoint? If you say that, it makes more sense. But if you say,
oh yeah, not personal, like literally because how upset you were, and like I just figured I wasn't losing anything. Like I wouldn't.
Okay, that's what I was hoping, because I was like, okay, this is what I think is. But because and again, last thing I'll say, because I get to say this to Courtney, I get to say this to you. The last 48 hours from both of your standpoints, besides Brian, because I was going to vote Brian out of Final Four, made no damn sense at all. But anyway, because I didn't win challenges. Good luck. I do care about you both. I had a fun time. I have to go there too. All right, bye, y'all. Get me out of here. Oh wait, no.
Thank you so much, Jordan. And now we're going to move on to our final jury member, which is Jake. There he is.
Righty, Jake. Your 10 minutes plus like an hour if you need it starts now.
Oh my God, guys, we did it. We made final three like we all talked about. Wow, that's crazy. Um, so I'm gonna just jump right into it because I'm sure you guys have been so excited to hear me talk. Um, First, Brian, you initiated the final two we had. You said that we were the bottom of the tribe and we needed to stick together. Justin, you're right. I did initiate that final two. I want to start by saying congratulations. You both played very good games. Brian, your game was absolutely next level. And Justin, I'm here to find out how next level your game is. So Brian, I'm going to advise not talking during this part because I'm not in a mean way. I just really want to get some answers from Justin about a few things. Hey, buddy. So I take you back to a warm April day. The chat had been leaked. I knew I was going. People aren't talking to me. They're saying all this stuff about me. We're on call. I am sobbing because no one is listening to me. I know what people are saying about me, and it's nothing super nice. And you tell me, and I say, I can't believe Brian would do that. And you kept agreeing with me. You even said, I can't believe he would do that. I don't understand why he would do that. So now let's flash forward to a couple days ago, where this entire time I have been Team Justin. I've been very openly, like, of all, except Jordan. I was going to vote for Jordan if he made it to the end. But I have been very openly Team Justin. And then I find out, or at least I'm told, that you were involved in it. Is that true, Justin?
Involved in the leak is what you mean?
Involved in the leak and you knew about everything going on. Yeah.
I knew about everything going on. What I didn't know, it wasn't never supposed to, Brian wasn't supposed to tell Ed, who wasn't supposed to tell Malcolm, who wasn't supposed to tell Jordan. That whole side wasn't supposed to know. It was supposed to be a blind side. It wasn't supposed to get leaked on the other side at all. And then I was always going to tell you that you were leaving because I made that promise to you, but it was not supposed to be leaked like that.
So it was always going to be a blind side against me.
Yes, we had.
Why? Why?
So for me, I had a lot of conversations with people, and like I said, I kept some things to myself. So when I talked to certain people, I found out that you were saying a lot of the same things that you were saying to me, like you were saying to Sam and Brian, that you would sacrifice your game and that you would do whatever. So I didn't know what was real. And then when merge happened, the first conversation I had with Jordan, he said, I don't trust Jake. Jake, the reasons, something about talking with Jackie, and you're like one of the reasons that Quinn was leaving because you would push me and Quinn as a duo over there. And so
that's so true. Oh my God. No, it's not. But Jordan will talk after this because now I'm getting another conflicting story, so that's great. But okay. Yeah, part of this is my fault for putting too much stock into a friendship during the game. Like, that's very obvious. You and I have very different outlooks on it. Because I even said to you, like a day before I was voted out, I was like, oh, am I your new Quinn? Because I was the dumb one. I want to let you two know specifically, I have never felt dumber than how you two made me feel during this game. So I hope you feel good about that. One other thing I want to bring up to you, Justin, and this is actually the thing that upset me more than anything. Did you, and I just want a yes or no, did you go around and tell everyone and say that I was going to people and telling them a sob story? Or like be like trying to get pity or like making people feel bad for me? Just a yes or no.
No, no.
Okay. I had heard that you had been saying that I was telling everyone a sob story. If it is true, you know that crosses a line because we're friends outside this game. You know the shit that I've been through, and yeah, I've been pretty open about it, and yeah, it sucked. But that's not telling a sob story. That's me talking. And it's crazy because me talking to people in this game and not talking about the game were the only times I had fun. And so that's why I was enjoying all the game nights, all the just hanging out, all the getting high on calls with you guys. I'm not high right now. I didn't want to do FTC high. I felt that would be a little too disrespectful. But yeah, I really hope you didn't say that I was pushing a sob story. Anyway, Brian, again, I think you played circles around this game. I think there's a lot of people who should have known better, and they didn't. And you bodied everything. I think that's all I got. You guys did not make me feel good at all, because you didn't need to go as far as you did with my elimination. You just didn't. And you both knew that. Like I said, Justin, and I know you heard it from other people, but the people who I promised this to were you and Jordan, that I would fall on the sword for you guys if you just let me know. All you needed to do, hey dude, we're gonna vote you out this round. Would I tried to talk you out of it? Absolutely. Would I have succeeded? Probably not. I didn't succeed in anything in this fucking game. Like, let's call a spade a spade. Last thing I want to say. In our last call, Justin, you said that I helped teach you how to play a good game. Is that true or false?
It is, because the first game, I feel like we were opposites. I felt so connected to you, and I felt it lingered with me. I felt we had something like a true. That's what I learned, and I tried to change from my first game, because in that first game, you told me we're so close in that we were going to, be together in the end, like hang out, and yeah, it stayed with me, honestly, when you voted me out. And I felt like in that situation, you were able to separate game and relationship, and that's what I needed to do. And I took that from you and your game.
Well, just a reminder, I made it to Final Four before I got my first vote. Later, suckers. Congratulations. Bye.
Thank you, Jake. And thank you to all the jury members. So, the jury have all asked their questions. I'm just going to double check no jury members want to say anything else. Nope, fabulous. So, we are now going to move on to closing statements. And who went first?
Brian will go first this time because he went second in the opening.
Fabulous, thank you. Brian, you will go first, then Justin, you will go second. You each have 5 minutes. Meg, over to you.
Yep, and as before, if it's needed, I'll give you 1 for a 1 minute timer till the end. Are you good, Justin? Or Brian? Oh my God. I literally just said how you switch the order. You're good, Brian? Okay. Your 5 minutes will start now.
Okay, so I had something prepared. I think I'm gonna go off course. So just to start off, like I know I've gotten a lot of criticism for being game body or not taking into account personal relationships and whatnot, but I just it's hard for me to explain, but the way I view the game, it's kind of like I see it as I'm like that student that comes to school and I'm ready to learn. Like that is how I view this game. Like I came into this game and I am here to do well. I'm here to win. Like it means a lot to me. It does. But that doesn't mean when you go to school, you can't make friends with someone at lunch. It doesn't mean you can't make friends with someone walk into your next class. And I feel like I 100% did that. there is not one person sitting on this jury that I don't think I had some form of personal relationship with. I enjoyed my time with each and every one of you. And I also had to like people I knew before the game too. Those relationships came into play, like Jake. My relationship with Jake coming in, he was probably the person I was the closest to out of the cast coming into the game. And I did want to work with Jake coming in. And then when I realized that when I was doing the thing I was doing with Court and I was telling her all the information, I knew that I couldn't work with Jake because I knew eventually he'd find out what I was doing and would be a very tough adversary to have in the game. So I had to do what I had to do, and I stuck strong with the goal in mind of I wanted to win this game. As much as I had this big reputation for being great at games, I have some my resume from my past games are good, of course, but then I've never won. I've never won despite that a Survivor game. I've won a Big Brother, but not a Survivor. I came in and I wanted to accomplish that. It means a lot to me. I've been watching Survivor. I started at 9 years old. Heroes vs. Villains. It aired in 2010. And I was 9 years old at the time, and it was on from 8 to 9 o'clock. I had to negotiate with my parents to let me stay up an hour past my bedtime on Thursday nights so I could watch the show. That's how much I liked it. And I was a super fan growing up, and I studied this game. That is why I take it so seriously. I have seriously spent a lot of my life studying these social strategy games, and I enjoyed it a lot, and I wanted to put my skills to the test coming into this community. And I feel like tonight I finally am sitting in the final tribal council, and I really do feel that I accomplished a lot of those goals. I had a reputation coming in that was negative for me. There was a lot of people that I've worked with in past games that I had either lied to, backstabbed, turned against. They knew who I was as a player from personal experience. That was the case with Courtney. That was the case with Sam. That was the case with Malkin. That was the case with Missy. Like, my connections coming into the game, a lot of them were not positive. So that's why off the bat, I wanted to make relationships with people I hadn't met before in the game. That was why I had very strong bonds pre-merge with Justin, Ed, Quinn, Peyton. And then at the merge, I also created a great bond with Jordan. He was one of the strongest bonds I had this season. I felt like I talked to him a lot. Another strategy I used to overcome my reputation was to lean into it and turn it into a way to prove motive and trust, because it's kind of crazy that, everyone says I'm a game bot and I don't factor in personal relationships, but then why did everyone trust me? I still was able to manage to get people to trust me. And one of the ways I did that was, since I was seen as ruthless or a game bot, the one thing I could always count on was people thought that I would do what was best for my game. So while telling you I promise might not mean something, I instead would tell someone why it is best for my game. And if I can get someone to believe that a move is best for my game, they're going to think 100% that I'm on board, whether I am or not. I also had to consider how to manage my threat level. I came into the game pretty high on the threat level list. My best way to manage this was to work with other threats. Preseason, I had plans on working with specific people based on their threat level coming in. The winners were people I knew I would be forced to work with, or they would be forced to work with me because they were in a similar boat. And that is why I had final twos with each of the winners. They were all players that I could assume would be willing to work with a dangerous player like myself. When it came down to the decision to cut Courtney and take her out for the final two, I know Jordan said that I might have beat her, and that would really kill me if that was the case, but I don't know if that's true. We built a very strong bond, and I hated the fact that I had to do it, but I came in saying I would do whatever it takes to win, and I knew it would be compromising that if I took Courtney to the finale, or at least I felt that way, and it sucks, but I don't regret it, because with the information I had, I felt it was the right move to make. One thing I always look up coming into this game is, I have a spreadsheet just in case, never know what question will come up on a challenge. The average age of this game coming in was 25.7. And then by merge, the average age was nearly a decade older than me. Even though I lack life experience, I was still able to come in and kill this game strategically.
Brian, your 5 minutes is up. Sorry, love.
Okay.
Thank you, Brian. And now we're going on to Justin.
Justin, you good?
I'm good.
Okay, I'll start it now.
So I get it. It's really hard to explain your game. I especially think that I played this game very Sandra-like. Like, I was in the background. I was very much anybody truly but me, and I didn't give a shit. I was focused on getting here and getting here only. And I did that each round, and I know it's Survivor 101, but making bonds carries you through. When you build those relationships with people, they want to keep you around. And I did that. I didn't put myself in positions where people wanted to target me. I didn't have my name being thrown out. We're in an all-star game. And again, like, that is huge, not having your name thrown out, especially like when this community spreads so much information so easily and everyone has reputations. But I get it. Like, you guys warned me in the beginning, right? Don't work with Brian. Don't trust Brian. So you can't let me win. You can't do it, because if you vote for me to win, then you're wrong. Then everything you said was wrong. So you can't let me win, because if I win, your perception of me was incorrect. Your perception of yourself was incorrect. I get it. And I would be the same exact way. So honestly, sometimes you gotta, if you make your bed, lie in it, whatever the fuck, you dig your own grave. I do think I played hard. I do think I deserve credit. I do think that I was very villainous in this game. I made people believe that it's one thing I do is where I can make myself seem really malleable, and I can make myself seem really flexible when I'm not. And I think that really works in my advantage, because people think that they can manipulate me. They think that they have control over me. So again, I think just based on who I am, and it's a rock and a hard place, because I'm going to piss people off, or I'm going to make moves that won't get me here. My focus was to get here. My focus was to get out people that would get me out. I think Survivor, as a student too, I've watched Survivor. Survivor's about timing, and you have to time things correctly. I can't jump the gun on certain moves, because then I becomes the target. I become the flip-flopper. I can't be too late, or if I'm too late in a move, then I get fucked over. So I made sure to time my moves and to time the things that I needed to do correctly. For each and every vote, I had a reason. So, and as he said before, that Malkin was a lot of his idea. Correct. Like, I honestly felt close to Malkin, but then Malkin and Jordan's relationship during that time started freaking me out. I heard a lot of things, like they were doing information, and that I got in my head that Malkin would want to split us up. So that's why I also wanted to do that. I feel like having this, this game was fun, but it was stressful. And I feel like each and every one of you, I did get close to, and I just want to move on and just say, I'm sorry if I hurt you. I'm sorry if things I did upset you. I thought that I was playing a game, because the first time I played, I was a pushover and I was the one who basically got screwed. And I just didn't want that to happen. So I made mistakes, and I apologize for that. I should have owned up in the game to more things. I was just worried with playing with people who all are stars, that if any of my shit got out, I could have went home, and I didn't want that to happen. And I respect all your votes. I respect everything that you do. And honestly, I'm proud of myself for being here as somebody who is a newbie. And I am really grateful for this experience and for getting to know most of you. And I'm really thankful. So I understand if you're hurt. I understand you're mad. I respect it. And I completely validate it. And I apologize.
Okay, thank you, Justin. Thank you, Brian. You guys have now finished Final Tribal Council. You've made it. Have a big breath. You're there. And now we turn to the jury, who are now going to be voting for their winner. So one at a time, they are going to go into the voting booth and cast their vote. Brandon is going to go there, and Meg is going to say which juror is going.
Yes. Are there any jurors that need to go now because they have to leave the call or something? Just shout out really quickly.
Probably Sam, because he's tired.
Sam? Okay, I'll send Sam first. Everyone can come back on camera. You guys can talk amongst yourselves. Just obviously no more game talk and, asking questions or saying who you're voting, anything like that. But y'all can hang out while we do this.
I want to let both of the final two know I begged Prod if I could vote for Madison to win.
And we told him no.
And they wouldn't let me filibuster either, so had to pick one of you chuckle fucks.
We'd also like to let you know that there is a surprise 19th contestant coming into the game right now, and it is the Baba Yaga.
I thought you were gonna say it's the new Chris Stoner.
No,
I
the,
made that
the new Chris Stoner is the 20th.
I've been on mute this whole time. I'm like, yes, Baba Yaga. I feel like I talk to everybody about Baba Yaga. Uh-oh.
Sam is back. I will send Courtney next as she has to leave soon as well.
We're just waiting to vote right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Peyton, do you need to go early?
Preferably, but that's no, it's fine. I'll just be driving for a second.
I'll send you right after Courtney's done.
Okay, no promises. I know what I'm doing.
Okay, robot.
Brian, is that alcohol?
High noon.
I am actually sober this FTC. I was not in season 1. I've got beer on the way, but last time I drank whiskey and I don't remember most of it. So
Yeah, Missy was absolutely smashed.
Missy, during your question, I took an edible, so
did you? I appreciate that. I was like, I'll get alcohol towards the end, so that way I'm not as messed up as I was in season 1.
Peyton, I'm gonna send you to the voting booth. I shall smoke weed in honor and not drink because I had a buzz ball last night for the first time, y'all. I don't know if y'all had those, but them shits are just a miniature Four Locos. If they were the size of a Four Locos can, it'd be a Four Locos. So
Did you get it from the gas station?
I don't know. Jeremy got them. I don't even know where the hell
they
he
sell
got
them at the gas station. The Mocha ones are really, the fact that I know this, the Mocha ones are really good.
I've been on a big like pirate water kick lately because they're super cheap and like they're much worse than a Loco. And I didn't think they would be, but I'm pretty sure it's just like toxic waste. But they're cheap and I'm poor. So, you know. I like your hat, Malkin.
Why, thank you.
I was admiring that earlier. I was like, I should have worn a hat.
I didn't know that a feather had fallen off. So when I came on camera, I'm like, all right, it's already there. I might as well just grab it and just make a thing out of it. Yeah, I don't think I wore this all season, so I was like, how fitting.
It's a cool hat. I don't think I own any hats. Well, I own a beanie with a goose on it because of a meltdown I had in 1984 live about geese, but that's like my only hat.
Peyton has returned. I'm going to send Missy next. She's the first
Brandon,
on my screen.
That took me too long. Sorry.
We noticed.
Fuck off.
I think he just died.
Not that.
Love you.
Sorry, Missy's back. Next, I will send Edward.
Good Lord, I need a dust. I'm done it for like 3 weeks.
Okay, so to liven this voting part up, name a funny joke award that you would give to a player in this game if you did the awards. And obviously not games since we're voting, but. Please.
Jester.
What award is Jester getting?
Oh, you said name a funny joke.
Man, I'm about to make Jester the biggest clown.
Oh, I love Jester.
Damn.
Not Justin.
No.
Malkin. After that burn, go vote. Oh no, that was Sam. Malkin, go vote anyway. I can't.
Wow.
That like took me out of this realm. You know what, Sam? Jester's watching this, so
I can't wait for this reunion.
I'm just sad I wasn't this Chris Stoner.
well, I need my glasses to do the RuPaul. I can't wait to see how this turns out.
I voted yet? No.
Okay, cute. No joke awards. All right. Best host award.
That
Nobody?
is a loaded
Meg.
question. I am not answering that question.
John fucking Farrell.
Marcelo.
I pick Alex because he always laughs at my joke.
Where is Marcelo?
Love your husband.
Who?
What?
Huh?
What?
Malcolm's
Why?
back. I'm gonna send Jake.
I still think the best joke of the season was the and I know a lot of you didn't see this, but the Courtney memified the Barbie poster for Ken. Like, this is also Chris Stoner or something like that. It's so funny.
I put this Ken as looking for his next Chris Stoner.
That's what you did. That's what it was. It's so funny.
Loved that moment.
That's my favorite joke all season. I'm not gonna lie. That was the amalgamation of everything that I was here for. So
Malcolm, your beard or your clean shaven. You got some dimples, don't you? Okay.
maybe. Maybe just
Oh my
a
god,
little.
look at Jordan finally flirting.
I know.
If it was anybody, it'd be Malcolm.
Aw, I love that.
Y'all, serious true story. Recently, I did a TikTok live, and one of the people in it like told me I had a nice mustache. I was so pissed. I was like, "Fuck you, dude!" I blocked them. I was like, "Ah."
What I missed.
It would have hurt less if he'd have punched me in the face.
Missy, if it makes you feel any better, your moustache looks lovely tonight.
Thank you. It's coming in nicely.
It goes lovely with your tea.
I have a really funny picture, Justin, that I don't even remember taking, and I need to share with you after the game because it's really funny. Because I'm like, what was this from? Maybe you can help me. It was one of our one-on-ones. I look like I'm 1,000 years old, and you're just like trying to like understand what my face is.
Can't wait. We have a lot of pictures.
Yes, we do.
Okay, so I believe everyone went into the voting booth except for Esteban, who had to leave, but Esteban did confirm his vote, so I'm gonna close the breakout room. Bring Brandon back, and Ollie is gonna tally the votes, and he will announce when he's ready.
Give me 2 seconds.
Courtney, you got any idols left over?
Courtney, did you see Esteban's little meme? And I almost held the hands up in the jury chat.
I forgot about that.
This too. I can't even say the word. Do you know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about, do you? Courtney, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I was just shaking my head. No, I don't know what you're talking. You
Okay,
literally told me not to like look up in the jury chat so I wouldn't get my feelings hurt. So I didn't look or anything.
Nice. Okay. Because I love you. I'm just gonna DM it to you because I don't really want to.
Okay.
Somebody else can say if they liked you.
There's an idol for you. Sam, stop.
Right. I have the votes. And for once, you want to see your name on this parchment because it is a vote for the winner. So, Brian, Justin, are you guys ready? Okay then, so there are 9 votes. Takes 5 to win. First vote is for Brian. Second vote is for Justin. That's 1 vote Brian, 1 vote Justin. Third vote, Brian. That's 2 votes Brian, 1 vote Justin. Fourth vote, Brian. That's 3 votes Brian, 1 vote Justin. Fifth vote, Justin. That's 2 votes Justin, 3 votes Brian. Sixth vote, Brian. That's 4 votes Brian, 2 votes Justin. Seventh vote, and the winner of Triumph Bora Bora All Stars, Brian. Congratulations, Brian. You have triumphed over everyone else and become the sole survivor. Well done. How do you feel?
Thank you. Thank you. It feels amazing to win this game. I had so much fun playing with all of you guys, and I appreciate you guys for voting me and being a part of this season. I had a lot of fun, and this was a great cast, so I couldn't be more ecstatic to get the win in the end.
Oh, there we go. Thank you so much, Brian. Commiserations as well, Justin, but second place is still an amazing achievement. So I think both of you deserve a huge round of applause. Production, if anyone else wants to say anything.
Oh man, I love the both of you. I was gonna be so happy no matter. Brian, congratulations. First Survivor win, first All-Stars win. You know I've been a Brian stan since the moment we met and you fucked me over in Taze. And I loved that I got to champion for you on the jury in your first win, and I love that I got to host you here in this win. Justin, you're probably one of the best new players I've seen. I'm so glad we got you here the first time. I still don't even know where the fuck we got you. But you're one of the most talented players I've seen, especially with the little experience you've had so far in orgs. And you killed this game. That's all I got for now.
I would just like to say congratulations to this cast as an entire whole. That sounded worse than I intended. You're all amazing. Thank you for putting on such a lovely, lovely game. Brian, you absolutely crushed it, absolutely killed it. You absolutely validated me in being like one of the only people, if not the sole person who wanted you out of Azerbaijan. So I'm glad that with my absence, you were able to come in and crush it. So well done, my friend. You destroyed it. You absolutely earned that win. Justin, great job to you as well. Proud of this entire cast, proud of production. Great season, everybody.
I will also say, I think it's no shock to anyone that this is my first time ever co-hosting a game, and I'm very glad that it was here on Triumph, and it means a lot to me, and I'm glad that for the most part, y'all have enjoyed this game. For the most part. Brian, I love you to death. Even though you fucked me over in surviving 1984, I love you to death. Rightfully so, keep in mind. And I'm so glad to see that you finally got your first win after hearing about, oh my God, how much you've talked in like your prod chat about. It was insane. It was crazy. Justin, obviously this is my first interaction with you as well. I love you to death. The one person that probably loves you more than me is Megan. But otherwise,
No, the prod member that loves you the most is Alex.
No, please save it for reunion. Save it for reunion. We need to hear from Bob the drag queen later.
Yes. But no, thank you guys so much again. Congratulations, Brian. You have triumphed and are our sole survivor. Thank you to the entire cast, and we will see you guys next season.
Big things coming for Triumph, y'all. Wait for season 7. It's gonna